What's going on, guys? Dillon back like I never left. Today we're going to be talking about debt. I know, debt. The elephant in the room. Something no one wants to talk about. Sometimes people are embarrassed of it. But we really need to get to the bottom of this, and if you're interested in learning how you can pay back your debt in a better way, in a more efficient way, stick around. Guys, if you like content like this, hit the subscribe button and smash that notification bell so you're always notified when I upload a new video. Alright, let's get into it. So I believe it's very important to first differentiate between good debt and bad debt. Good debt being student loans, because usually people who have a college degree have a better chance of getting a job in the future and they'll be making more money, so there's a good ROI on that debt that you use to spend for college. Now, of course, there are some degrees that you want to avoid, but that's not my specialty or what I like to talk about. I think no matter what degree that you have or what field of study you are in, as long as you're enjoying what you're doing and you can make at least some money doing that, then I think it was a good use of your money. Especially in the United States, where people with degrees are more likely to get jobs, and sometimes it's just a checkbox when you're going into an interview. Does this person have a college degree? Can this person work? And sometimes it doesn't matter what your major is, you can just get a job just based on the fact that you have a degree. It is important to note that depending on the university and the degree and how much your tuition costs, student debt can very quickly turn into bad debt. So always keep that in mind. Another form of good debt is a mortgage. A mortgage is seen as a good debt because it's usually a lower interest rate than most of these credit cards and other lines of credit, and you'll be making principal payments on your mortgage, and you'll eventually build up your net worth by making all those principal payments, and eventually you own the house outright. You'll hear a lot that people say buying a home was the best purchase they ever made because it forced them to put money away in the form of a mortgage payment in which they're paying principal, interest, taxes, and insurance every single month and slowly paying down that balance that they originally had. At the end of 30 years, they own a property outright, and maybe it was worth $500,000. Now, if they hadn't bought that property, they probably would have not put away $500,000 over the course of 30 years. And so it just was a vehicle that forced them to save. Now, bad debt. Bad debt is what I really wanted to get into. Bad debt comes in the form of just consumer goods, credit card debt, even car loans I consider a bad debt. In 2017, Americans spent $113 billion in credit card interest payments. And hold on, let me run some numbers really quick. Okay. That's a lot. That's a lot. That is up 12% from 2017. And it's predicted that in 2019, we're going to be paying even more in credit card interest. That's how these credit cards are able to give you all these benefits and rewards, these 3x back, these miles, these free travel, all these perks, because they have other people footing the bill for your rewards. So we want to make sure that we are on the side of people who are paying off our credit cards every single month and benefiting from these rewards. Now, hopefully you aren't drowning in credit card debt. Hopefully you've been doing okay and you've been paying it off every single month. But if you're not, let's talk about some ways that we can start mitigating this debt and paying it down in a proper way. There are two main ways that people usually like to talk about how they're going to tackle their debt. You have the debt avalanche and the debt snowball. The debt avalanche is where you pay all your minimum payments on all your debt that you have, and you first start paying off with the rest of the money you have left over the highest interest rate debt that you have. So say you have 3 credit cards, one's at 15%, one's at 20%, one's at 27%. You make all the minimum payments, but then you pay off the 27% interest rate first, so you pay less interest over time. Now you also have the debt snowball. This means you do the same exact thing and you make minimum payments on all the debt that you have, but you pay the lowest balance first. A lot of people, like Dave Ramsy, like this method the best because it can incentivize you and reward you for paying off your debt because you see the lowest balance go down, and once that balance is gone, you take that and you apply it to the next payment. Now, there are multiple debt calculators out there to see which method is best for you, and I'll leave links in the description for both so you can crunch the numbers yourself and see which one you like to use. Me personally, I'm using the debt snowball and debt avalanche because it just so happens to be that my lowest debt is also the highest interest rate, and I'm talking about my student loans here. So please crunch the numbers for yourself and see which one works the best. Another important thing to note is that if you use a home equity line of credit or a HELOC to consolidate your loans, you've now put that debt on your house, and you have a risk of losing your house if you do not pay those debts back. So it is very important to consider all these aspects before you start paying off your debt. Now, people can also settle their debt using debt settlement companies. You probably hear commercials for these all the time, and how they can take your $10,000 in debt and you can only pay $2,000 on it, and of course they have a fee along with them as well. I've never personally used a debt settlement company, but one thing that is very, very important to note is that if you owe $10,000 in debt and the debt settlement company can give you just a $2,000 settlement, that $8,000 difference is now considered income tax. And you will have to pay taxes on that. And you'll probably end up owing because they're not going to take taxes out from the beginning. You're going to get a tax form from the debt settlement company, and it's going to show that you made $8,000 this year extra because they were able to take that out of what you actually owed in debt. Very, very important to note. Especially if you're in a high tax bracket, you'll probably end up owing a lot to the IRS at the end. Leave a comment down below and let me know what kind of debt strategies you've used in the past to settle debt. And if you have any companies that are good debt settlement companies, leave a comment down below so everyone can benefit from that. And wait, I'm sorry, one more thing. You should never pull from your retirement accounts to pay down these debts. As tempting as it might seem, you should really think of those accounts as not there, non-existent. What you really have to do is budget hardcore with Mint and really start tackling down these debts. You got to make a plan of action, write it down, talk to your spouse. How are we going to pay down this debt, and what strategy are we going to use? Like I said before, you have to have a strategy so you can implement it and destroy this debt, because we do not want this in our lives anymore. We do not need it. We do not want it. And then you can slowly start seeing your net worth build in the right direction instead of going in the negative direction. Guys, as always, thank you so much for watching. If you guys made it to the end, please leave a comment down below saying, hey, I made it to the end, something like that. It really, really helps the YouTube algorithm. Also, hit that like button and smash that subscribe button so you guys are always notified when I upload a new video. As always, guys, catch you guys next time.